Are you using or planning to use video marketing to increase brand awareness and get more customers into your sales funnel? Our Wise Up Wednesday guest is an expert video marketing creator and strategist, and he'll be sharing his best tips and advice for successful video conversions to help your startup succeed. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Startup Life Show. I'm your host, Ande, Lyons, startup coach to first-time founders. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I now help newly minted business owners sleep through the night. That's right. Using my Andelicious strategies, solutions, insights, and inspiration, these founders are building profitable and sustainable businesses without spending a fortune or wasting valuable time. And I am so delighted you carved out time to tune in and up your founder game. We are streaming live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch, thanks to the oh so delicious StreamYard platform. And those of you tuning in live, please remember, this is also a networking event. So be sure to introduce yourselves in the comment threads and share your LinkedIn profile, business name, website, and social media links with each other. You never know where the next collaboration will come from. And if you know someone who would benefit from our conversation, especially video creators, please tag them in a comment so they can join us. Thank you. I am so happy to see everybody here today. I know there's a bunch of us who are very excited to hear Rob's feedback. Hi, Mia. Oh my gosh, one of my early friends and faves in live streaming. I think way back 2012, 2013, Mia, right? So good. So good to see you. So today, I call it Wise Up Wednesday because we have to, as founders, wise up and get our founder game going. And so I invited the oh so amazing Rob Balasabas to join us. And he's an expert video marketer and creator and strategist. And he's also the brand evangelist at TubeBuddy, a YouTube video optimization and channel management tool that helps you soar on YouTube. I use it. Kind of, almost, maybe. I'm going to get better at using it today after we talk to Rob. I'm excited to up my video game today. Are you too? Yay. Let's bring Rob into the room. Woohoo! Hey, Rob.
Hey, Ande. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Here's a round of applause, everybody.
I love it.
So happy to welcome you here and so thrilled you're here to help us up our game and get better at video. Now, yes. I know someone who follows you like glue. Hi,
hey, Vicky. Hey, Vicky. Good to see you.
It's so good to have her here, and I know she's going to be pummeling you with questions. And
oh, here we go.
Here we go. But first, Rob, I always like to find out from, sure. Here we go. Let's just get a testimonial.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Vicky, I'm right there with you. I want to do better. I really do. But here you are, as the wonderful brand ambassador for TubeBuddy. But I know you've got a background. You've been working with startups because, TubeBuddy is basically a startup. They've only been around how many years?
Well, TubeBuddy, you'd think is a startup. Yes, it's hard. Like the whole startup. How do you even define a startup? But I was like, is TubeBuddy still a startup? And I think it's a little further along now. It's
further along now.
Yeah, it's kind of graduated from a startup, but definitely at some point it was. And I'd love to talk about my experience with startups with you guys. I'm really excited for this.
Share, because it's so wonderful to have an expert here who understands the struggle. Hashtag the struggle is real, everybody, for founders and startups. And we have to be creative and efficient with how we bring our products and services to the world. So share with your background before and what compelled you to get into video marketing. I mean, what were you doing? And you said, oh, this speaks to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So first, thank you, Andy, for having me here. I say hello to Mia as well. Me and Mia are like in the same circles, but we've never collaborated. Mia, at some point, I'd love to collaborate with you. But yeah, so me, my background, I'm here at TubeBuddy. Been here for about 6 months now. Brand Evangelist here, so I get the fun job of connecting with all of our partners, all of our users, and working behind the scenes on the marketing team. So I mean, TubeBuddy's been around for over 10 years now. So it's kind of exited and graduated from the startup world. But previous to TubeBuddy, I was with a company called Thinkific. And a lot of you may know that company. It's an online course platform software. I was on the partnership team. I started there when it was about 12. I was employee number 12 or 13, I believe. I was there for a few years. When I left, it was at about 150 employees. And so definitely saw the growth, of a really successful startup, all the different sort of milestones in growth for a startup. So I'd love to talk to you guys about that if you guys have any questions. And then previous to that, I was in the digital agency world for about 6-7 years, doing all things SEO, social media, media buying, all those things. So really excited for this talk because I don't get to talk about startups these days as much. So I'm really excited to be here.
That's wonderful. And also you have another little side gig as well. You are a speaker.
Yeah. That is now something on my LinkedIn now. So I am a speaker. I get to for I would say the last couple years been getting more and more invitations and opportunities to speak. A lot of that is really doors that were opened because of videos that I would create, and so kind of ties in. But enjoying that, enjoying learning how to be a better speaker on camera as well as on stage. Hopefully, when we can get back to traveling. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Andy.
That's great. And you answered the other question I had, which is, which came first, video or speaker? Video.
Yeah, definitely video. Video first for sure. Yeah, which I'm glad. I think if I started at speaking on stage, I would probably be very, very bad.
And I think that's something we're going to talk about, which is this ability to look into the camera and talk as if you're really in front of a room. And I know it's hard for a lot of speakers, trained speakers, to transition from this. Totally. And all the bodies to just this camera and still be relatable. So I think that's so important that we talk about that as well. So let's go into why video marketing is a wonderful strategy for startups. And my big question, of course, not just about the strategy, because again, mission, everybody, is how the world looks before you change it. Vision is how it looks after you change it with your product or service. So in here, we have that wonderful strategy. How do we get from point A to point B? And using video can be really helpful and make it faster for the founder. But how do we find time? Take it away, Rob.
Yeah. So first, why videos, right? So people are thinking, okay, if you have a startup, why videos? Videos, you can create videos right away. For me, I wasn't a writer. I wasn't, I could have started a podcast, but I really enjoyed being in front of a camera. It was a challenging thing, but also I started to really enjoy being sort of in front of a camera, interacting with different guest experts, during interviews, because that's really a majority of the kind of content that I create. And so as a startup founder, it's a really low cost way. You can turn on your mobile phone, your iPhone or your phone and start creating video content. You can start live streaming and you can connect with people so quickly. As a startup, one of the things, and I'm sure Andy, you can speak to this, is that you don't know where your product market fit is quite yet, in the beginning. You need to really understand your audience, understand your customers, your potential customers, what their pain points are. And so by using videos, you're really able to engage quickly and get really quick feedback on what it is that you're trying to create, whatever this product, this platform, this business is that you're trying to create. And almost have like a really free focus group by using videos. And so that's really one of the best ways to do it. As you start growing, for me, the reason why I got into videos was I wasn't a writer, like I said, not really good with written words, but I was really good. I really enjoyed talking to a camera and engaging that way. I'm a bit of an extrovert. I like getting out and seeing people in person. So video was sort of the next best thing to that. And so when we started doing this, I understood that with the people that we wanted to collaborate with, partners, people that we wanted to get our product in front of their audience, influencers, whatever you want to call it, the people that are able to help you really grow and get in front of their people, their audience quickly. The space that they really were in was videos. That's how they collaborated. That's kind of how you would get street cred among that crowd,
Right.
that audience, that crew of people that could really help you really fire start your business. And so we understood that, and so we had to get better at videos. We had to start using videos as a startup, and so that's what we did. And it opened doors.
This is what I love what you're saying, because everyone knows that I'm all about the value prop, proving your hypothesis that customers want your product. And as you know, a lot of times you can even do customer surveys before you launch and everybody's like, oh yeah, I'll be buying that. I love it. And then you launch and it's crickets. It's up to you to keep it in that early stage, get as much feedback as possible. And wow, video. What a great way to go out and test and talk and bring it to people in a format that they can find it easily. I love that. And then what do you feel about explainer videos versus sort of in-person videos?
Yeah, explainer videos. Yeah, both. Test them out. Explainer videos are great if you are a little camera shy. A lot of in the early days, I used a lot of slide decks. PowerPoint slides, Keynote slides, Google slides with me just into the corner. Little bubble with me talking to a webcam in the corner, and I would use slides, and that would take up the majority of the screen. And so that way, I'm still there. I'm still engaging with you. You can see my face. You can see what I look like. All those things. And we're still.
You're humanizing.
You're humanizing it, exactly. And so then that way, but you're getting the majority of the content through the slides, and so it's a good sort of gateway into taking up the entire screen like we are today. So yeah, definitely that's definitely good one.
What about outsourcing? Because
good question.
You may want to do this. And look, I'm very friendly with Filmora. That's what I use for my editing. But do I get in there and do it? And is it as snazzy as some of the others that I see out there? No. How can we outsource?
Yeah. So outsourcing. Okay. So here's the thing. For the longest time, we never outsourced any of our video editing, and that's fine. If you're starting out, if you're limited to your budget, and outsourcing to a video editor isn't something, it's like many founders, you have to wear many hats, and you have to sort of learn many skills. And if one of those is video editing, then that may be it. Now, there's tools out there. If you want to do talking head videos, for example, there's lots of different tools out there. There's one that I've been using, starting to use, called Vlog Easy, one word. It's an app, and essentially you talk to the camera, and whenever you are not talking, there's no verbal, it actually will delete it, or you can delete it, and then that way you end up, and you can just say like, hey guys, my name is Rob, take a pause in this video, and then it will just remove all the dead air. And at the end, you'll have this really nice looking video where it looks like exactly what you said, and it's just really easy. So in that way, if that's you, if that's the kind of founder you are right now, and that's the stage of your startup, you can just use that tool and you can make really easy videos. So if you need to edit, then I would really suggest reaching out to people in your circles. There's people out there right now that you're connected to, business owners, founders, marketing people that are using editors, and a lot of editors are freelancers. And so if you see a video that somebody's doing, like if you saw one of my videos and you're like, hey, Rob, I like your videos. Who does your editing? Like just be straight up. Who does your editing? And a lot of people will say, oh, I do it myself, or I have a guy, or there's a girl that I use. And okay, cool. Like, do you know if they're looking for, more business or more work? Typically they are. And if they are, then connect with them that way. That's probably the best way.
And, we love supporting our solopreneurs out there. But I'm still sort of like fanning myself over Vlog Easy. Because then you can look at what you want to say, and you can come back up and go and then what was it I wanted to say? Oh yeah, I'm definitely I'll have that link to that in the show notes, everybody.
Check it out.
Oh my gosh. And what advice do you have, Rob, for folks like me? I mean, I still get nervous when I'm coming on live. Once we get talking and the engagement happens, I'm okay. But when I first look at the camera, I really want to go, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you help people get comfortable? Because, folks, even as an introvert, video is such a powerful way for you to reach your end user and filter down to them, find them, bring them in, be, the sort of magnet as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do we not be so nervous?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. We were talking about this before we went live. To be real honest with you guys, I mean, there's really no shortcut to it. There's lots of speakers. Oh, hey, Gabe's here, made from scratch broadcast. Good to see you. There's really no shortcut. I have a lot of good friends that have done TED Talks, spoken in front of hundreds and thousands of people in person. But for some reason, when they get alone in front of a camera, it's something different. Like, they're nervous. I'm like, why are you nervous? You've spoken in front of thousands of people in person. It's just a different thing, I think, so there's really no shortcuts. There's some sort of like ways to, I guess, like practice. There's people that I know that have created private Facebook groups, for example, that they've done live streams in or uploaded their videos in. And there's people that will just record a video but never post it, but just go through the motions of recording a video and then watching yourself. To this day, I probably watch maybe half or 3/4 of the videos that I live streams that I go into. Mm-hmm. I'll watch it once, but probably that's it. Just because there is something about watching yourself that isn't super easy, but it is probably the best thing that you can do if you really want to be a good speaker on video, in person as well, of course. But really, there's really no shortcuts. If you look at my old videos, if you look at my old videos, they're just so embarrassing, but I keep it there because I kind of want to know what I was like and how you got better,
Yeah. And by the way, congratulations on the 2,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
In such a short period of time. But yes, you said it took a long time to get to the first 1,000 and a lot shorter in the second, but we'll talk more about that later. But I love the idea of creating a safety net for folks, which is like a private Facebook group saying, look, we're here to practice on each other, go ahead and we'll be gentle with the critiques. Like, what were you thinking? No, we won't be harsh like that.
Yeah.
No Simon Cowell's allowed. Hey, let's say hi to Nikki Pesquier. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
I know she's a huge fan of yours, and Nikki does incredible work, artwork. She's my designer for all the artwork that you see here, and
awesome,
made from scratch broadcast.
Hey,
so, I don't even know what your first name is. Made from scratch.
It's Gabriel. Yeah,
that's Gabriel. Yeah. Oh my gosh, great to meet you, Gabriel. And I know that. Oh, here we go. Practice makes perfect. That's great. Yes, I'm going to go. Yes. Would you please put your URL to your YouTube channel, Made from Scratch Broadcast, into the comment section so we can all follow you and subscribe? That would be great.
Gabe has a daily live stream show. He's just creating content every single day. So awesome.
Wait a minute. Gabe daily. I just started doing this 3 times a week, and I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Oh, that's
Can
amazing.
I add something, Andy?
Yeah.
I want to add. I was just thinking about this. One of the things that makes it really easy if you're scared about live streaming, because it's true. It is like you turn it on and there's no editing. What I would suggest is bring on a really good friend, like a colleague that you either work with or just know really well. You have a good relationship, and bring them on as a guest. I think that will really sort of put you at ease and relax you, because you're just having a conversation with your friends, and don't pay attention too much. Everybody tells you pay attention to the comments, engage with the audience. One thing at a time. Just have a natural conversation. And then from there, because as you know, there's so many moving parts when you're live streaming. I know right now you're looking at probably 3 different screens and tabs.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. The monthly pitch event I have when I'm moving founders through and they've got their pitch deck, we've got the comments and everybody coming in and out of the room. I definitely need something to calm down after that one. Mia, this is so true. Yes to video being great for introverts, ambiverts, once you get past the initial moment. He's an ambivert, an outgoing introvert. Exactly. You get out, you have a great time, and you run home and recover. It's perfect. Thank you for that. And yes, Vicky, isn't that great? 2,000 subscribers.
Thanks, Vicky. Appreciate it.
So good. So we talked about the nervousness. So now, of course, since the pandemic, people have been jumping on Zoom. And I thought,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so like the first 6 weeks, this is great. They're just getting used to the fact that this is how they have to communicate. But
Yeah.
I actually got the feeling that there wasn't enough coffee or sugar to keep me awake during some of these Zoom events and videos. And I really kind of want to reach to the screen and say, hey, you've got great, valuable content here. Could you jazz it up? Could you make it valuetainment a little?
Yeah.
More interesting. What are your thoughts? Because we do want to show up as pros. We do want to share this information with our colleagues, with a private, webinar workshop we might be holding, et cetera. What can you share with folks about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, Zoom meetings, they're, it is very tough. I know that we have tried to sort of like lessen our number of meetings, Zoom meetings. What I would suggest, this is kind of like probably a workaround that I've applied for my own work, is that rather than doing Zoom meetings, I would typically do like a video message. So whether that's on a Facebook DM or Instagram message or LinkedIn video message, or I'll email them with a video message, and there's a tool out there that I use. It's a free Google extension called Vidyard. So VID yard, like backyard, Vidyard. And it's just a Chrome extension. There's also a mobile app. And I can record my screen with my talking head sort of in the bubble in the corner that I can move around. There's also a little bit of a teleprompter where you want to put bullet points. So a lot of the times when somebody asks me a question or I'm reaching out to a new potential partner, I'll record the screen with me in the bubble in the corner, and I'll say, "Hey, Ande, I love your live show. Doing awesome work with your YouTube channel. My name is Rob with TubeBuddy. Would love to hop on a quick call with you and just bounce some ideas on how we can work together down the road, or support you in whatever you're doing." Just really quick, and then I'll send that as an email, and then that kind of starts the conversation. A lot of the times, really funny, is that they'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing with that? How are you using videos?" And then they'll try to send me a video message back, and it's rather than us going on a Zoom call. By the time we get on a Zoom call, then it's already like they know what I'm up to, I know what they're up to because we've exchanged some messages, and then that Zoom call can be a bit more beneficial, more fruitful, better use of time. So,
I'm sitting here like my jaw's dropping, okay? Because first, I'm the first to hop on a mic on LinkedIn and on Instagram DMs because it will take me 3 years to text as much as I usually want to say. But the video is even better. And, but at the same time, I worry about, sending off a video call. It's not that it's like maybe French kissing a stranger on the street, but I think it's also but it's intimate. So how do you, keep that from feeling invasive? And is that what the Vidyard can do? Can you? Okay, because I would love that. I think there's anything you can do to build trust and faith in relationships and quickly, get across the chasm that we have when we are online in building those relationships. I think video is wonderful. So could you speak to that just a second?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, with the tool, like with Vidyard, it's not me full screen. It's usually showing their website or their YouTube channel or some other profile that they have. So that's really their front center. And then I'm just sort of in the corner, talking to them. And it's a very short message. I don't really take up too much of their time. I want to respect their time. So that's sort of the initial message. Now, if it's a friend or if it's a colleague, partner, customer, and they have a question, rather than hopping on a call, because a lot of people, everyone's busy. A lot of people will kind of like resort to, oh, let's hop on a call. But sometimes the best thing is just if they have a simple question or a couple quick questions, I will just record the answer. And usually that actually is a better way to answer their question because they can see. It's like they're just looking over my shoulder, right? And so then I'll do that, and then we don't have to find a time, a few days away. It's like, here it is, the answer is right here. So you have to
screen share videos. I think just a quick way to say hi and all of that. And here's a great question from Gabe.
Yep.
I remember for a second, Gabe. What do you feel about using Loom or Dub to send personal messages? Haven't heard of either one.
Those are good too. I've used Loom. I haven't used Dub. There's also another one. Bonjoro is another tool similar. And these are tools that you can record your screen or record quick messages on your phone. And they're great. Loom I was using before as well. But then when Vidyard launched some new features, it was just a no-brainer. So yeah. But they're all really great tools.
Right there, Mia. Who else just added?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
hashtag because Rob said so.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good. So good.
Thanks, Mia. That's awesome. Hopefully that helps you there. That's awesome.
And Gabe and Vicky says that the Marco Polo app is good for that too.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah,
history
yeah.
of your video chats. What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much
So
cool
many.
advice today. Thank you,
Oh, man.
everybody. Never heard of that either. And then, Gabe, back to you. What about using the Facebook group chat or the Instagram chat rooms to communicate with colleagues?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. So every now and then we'll do like a happy hour with different partners and stuff like that. And those are just fun. Those are just like hangouts and stuff. I think a lot of people were doing them, in the beginning when we had to kind of stay at home, but we don't do them as often. But yeah, they're definitely a fun way to connect.
That's terrific. So, all right, everybody, let's get serious about our YouTube channels because second largest search engine out there.
Yes.
It's a wonderful way for organic reach. And there's ways to do it. There's ways not to do it. I've been failing miserably. I need to get better and better and better. Let's talk about TubeBuddy, basic tips for easy breezy use of the TubeBuddy's powerful platform. Where do we begin?
Yeah, if nothing else, really TubeBuddy is it's got so basically you install TubeBuddy, you connect TubeBuddy, we're YouTube partners. So everything we have direct access to their API and data and Google Trends, YouTube Trends, all that stuff. And so once you install it, there's a free version. It gives you quick links. That's probably one of the best things about it, is that YouTube has so many sub pages, and this is where you go for this and this and this. And so we have quick links in the browser, in our YouTube, in our app that you install, that you then see inside of your YouTube channel. And so there's different shortcuts to different things. The best thing for, I guess, if you're starting your YouTube channel, the best tool, because we have over 80 different tools inside of the platform, the best thing is probably the Keyword Explorer, and that's where you can then sort of find your opportunities on YouTube. YouTube is a search engine, like Andy mentioned. It's owned by Google, and so it's really important that you understand where is your opportunity for your content on YouTube, so that you can show up in search when people are looking for you, that your videos are recommended to people that are watching similar videos, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, Keyword Explorer, which is available on our free version. You can start using that to then kind of see where what keywords, what topics you should be talking about. Because as a startup founder or marketer, we have so much knowledge, and it's sometimes we just want to talk about everything, or and so making really specific videos will be really, really beneficial for you to grow your channel and reach more people. Because we don't, as your own behavior, if you look at YouTube, you're not really typically searching very general big topics. You're probably searching for specific answers to specific questions. Like how do you record your screen, or how do you send video in your email? There's different tutorials for those things. So yeah, that's probably the best place to start.
Where I run into challenges that I'll throw in a keyword and I'll double click on it. It's so easy to use TubeBuddy, everybody. That's why I want to get better at using it, because they make it easy, but I've got to get in there and also add my own effort. When I click on the keyword, it kind of poor, fair. So I realized then that I need to have something that's more interesting, and they offer related topics. And while I may want to create a title for a show to attract my viewers, I definitely switch it up when I post the video on YouTube or archive it on YouTube based on what TubeBuddy tells me. And I know that that's a strategy where we need to search for what people are interested in talking about. Where do we go? Where do we begin in that strategy?
Yeah, and I like what you're doing here with your live shows, Andy, is that you're not naming it like, live show with Andy, right? With Rob Balasabas, because people aren't. They may be, but more people will be looking for, say, video marketing for startups, right? Which is what the title of this is on YouTube. So it's very smart. This is something a lot of live streamers that I get to talk to. They typically have a name for their show, which is awesome. But definitely look at also optimizing your live videos, because people are searching for it, and you want it to show up in search as well, because that's going to be helpful for them. If people are in the startup world, they want to know how to use videos. Hopefully this video shows up because you've optimized it to do that. So yeah, very smart.
Yeah. So the other thing is that was coming up with the titles. I don't know about anybody else. Give me a high five or a fist bump if you struggle over the titles, and especially when it's thumbnail time for YouTube, because it's my understanding that the YouTube thumbnail needs to be very specific, as few words as possible. And so anybody else, give me a high five, a thumbs up. And let me know if you struggle with that title writing. That's where I'm always sitting there going, going to say, and TubeBuddy can help me out with that.
Yep.
But how do I how do I find what people are trying to find? Questions to ask. Do I go on Reddit? Where do I go for that?
Yeah. Good question. So yeah, I would look, there's a number of different ways. I look at comments. I look at blog posts, and what people are asking in the blog posts, Social Media Examiner, or, any other sort of like blog posts in your space, whatever your niche is or niche. And yeah, just look at comments, see what people are asking. Look at your own emails. What are people asking? Look at your website, or if you don't have a website, because I know a lot of video creators don't actually have websites, or if you're a founder, you don't have a website yet, then look at your competitors' websites. Look at their FAQs. What are the questions they're addressing? Because those are the frequently asked questions. And so then if you're looking to start using videos, then just answer those frequently asked questions. And again, just if the video, it only needs to be a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that's totally fine. There's no minimum. It doesn't have to be a 10-minute video to be, to drive traffic to your website. If somebody's watching, probably more often is that if you have a video that answers their question in a short amount of time, they'll probably click on that video. They'll watch it. Hopefully then they'll look you up, or, go to your website, or reach out to you, or leave a comment. And then that then drives traffic and attention to your startup, to your company. So yeah, there's so many different ways to do that. Look at your emails, look at your DMs. I mean, there's so many different ways.
Yeah,
and again, just answer questions.
I love that. Just going into the comments, look at reviews. You can go on to a competitor Instagram feed or Facebook feed, LinkedIn feed, and see the comments folks are getting there, and see where the problems are. These are, your competition. They're getting, hey, what about this or what about that? And you can go, light bulb moment here, and put it into your title so folks can find you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love competitor analysis. Anyway. AJ has a really great question here. Andy Jack, he's my co-host of our popular monthly pitch event here in Boston called Founders Live Boston.
Yay. Hey, Andy. Andy and Andy. Wow.
Yes, I know. And squared. Are there any recent YouTube algorithmic changes when it comes to organic reach should be aware of?
It's a good question. Oh man, YouTube changes all the time. So right now, for a while, actually, we were having some issues with doing YouTube lives because everybody was at home. A lot of brands were at home, working from home, and they were doing a lot of live streams on YouTube, a lot of streaming. And so we have a regular Wednesday and Tuesday live show. Actually, it's happening right now. Speaking of Filmora, Daniel Batal is live on our channel. You guys can watch it later. Just stay here.
Yeah, I want the link to that.
Just stay here. But yes. We were having some issues with live streams. We would go down, I would say sporadically over the last couple months. So live streams. But now I think we're back. I think YouTube's kind of fixed that issue. As far as organic reach, really, I haven't really seen any huge changes. Like nothing that would be worth mentioning. I think with there's always things happening behind the scenes. The SEO studio, sort of like more minute things, but like the way that you upload has changed. There's always things being changed. I know our developers, since we are very closely related, like tied to YouTube, we need to reflect all those changes. So there's always different changes, but nothing that you should change your strategy for.
Great. And Nikki has a great question, because I know, I'm at 611 followers. Will I ever get to 1,000? I have no idea. It feels like forever. And on top of that, I understand watch time is important. So this is a great question, Nikki, because in order to start monetizing, so if anybody wants to earn a little pizza money on the side, you've got to have over 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch time. So Nikki, what are you up? Are you over 2,000 subscribers now? Amazing. Canva expert, everybody.
Nice.
What is your best advice for increasing watch time?
Good question, Nikki. And yeah, Canva's doing some cool things with videos as well. I'm sure Nikki knows about it. But yeah, that's cool. So as far as watch time, the best thing that I would suggest is actually that's one of the things I focus on now. I used to focus a lot on subscribers, but now I'm really focused on how do I get people to watch as much of my videos as possible. So understanding how people consume content, how I can hold their attention, how to open loops in their mind so that they stay around till the end, different things like that. So my one tip would be to look at your watch time, like for each video. So if your video says, your average retention or watch time is say 33%. So like for a 5-minute video, maybe it's like just under 2 minutes, a minute 45 is the average watch time. On average, they drop off. Then go to that video and put in what's called a card. There's YouTube cards, the little ones that pop up on the top right of the screen, and put it maybe 15 seconds before the average drop-off time for that video. That way, before they drop off on average, then hopefully you might entice them to go check out another related video. That way they stay on your channel. Also, at the same thing, it's at the end of the video, if they get to the very end, then don't just leave it up to chance on what video they watch next. Make sure that you then tell them like, hey, now that you've finished watching this video, check out this next video where I talk about XYZ even further, and then direct them directly to that one video. And Andy, one last thing. The third thing is when you're sharing your videos on social media, use playlists, right? We have YouTube playlists. So instead of just sharing the link to the individual video, share the link to that video from the playlist so that when somebody clicks into that video from Facebook or LinkedIn or your Instagram bio, then they'll end up watching the video, but then also inside of the playlist. So you'll see on my channel, my personal channel, there's one of the playlists is like live streaming tutorials. So if I have a video around live streaming tutorials, I'll share it from that playlist. That way, when they get to the video, they'll be like, oh, there's other live streaming tutorials here that I can watch. Also, if they watch the entire video, then they'll automatically go to my next video on the playlist. So then they start sort of binge watching.
Well, and from a branding point of view, everybody, that is absolutely my number one tip is that, if somebody watches your video, it could be some political thing up next, some rock star, you don't know, some sketchy stuff coming up. Don't leave it arbitrary for them. Always share from the playlist so your brand is in their eyeballs. They may be watching you here, but on the side is a list of all what's up next, and it all has your brand and your face, and it's right there, and it's getting planted, that wonderful seed in there. So that's one of my most favorite pieces of advice. And let's just, Nikki, I think, came back with a 2.5 thousand subscribers.
Wow, congrats. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Nikki, I feel your pain. Question, what do you suggest for increasing subscribers? I have 76 subs and been consistent with videos for 4 to 5 months. You absolutely have. You have done everything everybody's told you to do, Vicky, Vicky. So I want to know too. Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you suggest for increasing subscribers? So 76 subs and been consistent with videos for 4 to 5 months. Yeah, that's probably the first thing I would say is be consistent with uploading. Also, just ask. I'll definitely check out some of your videos, Vicky. But just in the introduction, I've had to learn this myself is why should I subscribe, right? So one of the things that I say in my introduction, I try to get my introduction down to about 30 seconds. But, hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to improve your live streams. By the way, if you're new to this channel, this is what I do here. I talk about live stream tutorials, video content, how to make that easier. If that's something you're interested in, then I would love for you to subscribe so you can see more of my next videos. And so give them like, what is the value proposition that they should, why they should be subscribing. Also in your banner, tell them what is your value proposition, what it is, what they get from your channel. And also tell them how often you're uploading. A lot of the times, people will subscribe just because they know you're regular. Like you'll be uploading new content all the time, and so make sure that you are telling them, how often you're uploading or how often you're live streaming. There's a weekly show or new videos each week, or live stream every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Whatever it is, like put that in your banner, really upfront, front and center.
Such good advice. Vicky, I'm just going to tell everybody to subscribe to your station, your listening station, YouTube channel every time, any chance I can get. Let's all go subscribe to Vicky's right now. I'll have her link. Vicky, throw the link into the comment section and I'll share it. Oh, YouTube won't let you do that, but do it, with spaces, and I'll put it into the comments here so we can all give you a little lift. It is frustrating when you work so hard to create that content, Rob, and you do, what all the influencers and experts like yourself tell you to do, and especially the consistency, because I've watched Vicky, boom, boom, boom. But, at the end of the day, when you're not talking about something that's super sexy, a lot of times it's, hey, watch me open up this new product, or, it can be a little tough to get those folks in to watch what you're putting down. And
and also, sometimes you just need to call them out. Like, I know that there's some really, really good creators out there, and you can see this. Anybody can see this in their YouTube analytics. You can see how much of your viewers are coming from people that aren't subscribed, and you can kind of do it in a sort of playful way. But like, hey guys, make sure that you subscribe. I know that like only 75% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed. Just sort of play around with it and just make mention of it. Because people are like, a lot of people, it's not because they don't want to subscribe. It's just that they didn't realize that they're not subscribed yet. The truth is that people will be able to see your videos even if they're not subscribed. That's just how YouTube works, right? So if I watch some of your, like one or two of your videos, Vicky, in one sitting, like I discovered you somehow and I came across one of your videos, and I don't subscribe, I turn off my computer, I go have lunch, maybe, in the evening, after work, I go to YouTube, I'll start seeing some more of your videos because YouTube is thinking, oh, Rob watched one of Vicky's videos, so maybe he'll be interested in a couple other videos. So they'll try to test it. They'll be like, hey, Rob, what do you think of this video from Vicky and this video? So I'll start seeing some of your videos. And even though I'm not subscribed. So a lot of people, sometimes you just have to mention it right in the beginning. Don't make a big, huge sales pitch about it, but just mention it like, hey, make sure you subscribe. Use the different animations too. Sometimes you'll see those animations of the subscribe button getting clicked, with a little cursor. Just make sure that you do those things just to remind people, because it's not because they don't want to subscribe. It's just that sometimes they didn't realize they're not subscribed because you're just getting your videos automatically.
So those of you watching the archive, please click on the subscribe button in the lower corner and click on that bell icon.
Yes.
You get an alert whenever I go live. And Rob, is your YouTube channel, Social Media Club, is that?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just bring that in. I'm going to put a banner in here. My bad for not creating this earlier. I'm going to create a banner right now while we're wrapping this up. But this is so important. Here we go. And let's just shove that right there. Okay, everybody. And I'm going to put that into the comment section. Go ahead and subscribe to Rob, because seriously, you do not want to miss what he says. And look, he's so engaging, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to listen to Rob with this advice? So this, we're moving right through a lot of things. I had a quick question.
Yeah.
And that is live stream. So you had someone on your show. I think she goes live, or she creates a lot of videos. She's thousands of subscribers now. She's young, and her name begins with an A. I cannot remember.
Ande Dubé. Yeah.
Ande Dubé. Wow, is she a superstar? Love her. But she mentioned something about live videos versus creating, editing a nice compact video and uploading. Are you going to get fined by the algorithms by just only using live?
No, I wouldn't say so. There's a lot of shows that are just strictly live streams. Gabriel, our friend here, Made from Scratch broadcast. There's lots of big channels that are just live streaming. I think a big part of it is the expectation that you set, as the creator for that channel. If people subscribe to you because you go live every day or every week, and that is part of the show, that's part of the proposition, the value from that is that, they'll subscribe to it. Now, you need to think about, if you're doing live streamings, you need to know the end game, like what's the goal for that live stream. So for me, I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 live streams a week. And that's just a mixture of tutorials, Q&A, also interviews through the TubeBuddy Creators Corner show. And so each show has sort of a different goal in mind. So, for example, so we have the Creators Corner. This is an interview show similar to what we're doing right now, Andy. And really that's a way to really shine light on different creators and our partners and things. And so if you're doing an interview show and you want to keep it public on your channel afterwards for the replay viewer, you need to think of it, you need to keep the replay viewer in mind, right? Don't do Q&As in the beginning, because then that alienates the replay viewer. Really have a plan, have some questions in place already. That way, when you go in, think of how the replay viewer will watch this. Don't have a long drawn out introduction, just get into the meat of it, just like any sort of upload video that you would create. And so that's really important. Every Friday then on my personal channel, I do just a live subscriber Q&A session. I'll keep that public. You'll see the replays on my channel right now. And so that way, that's actually something I just use to let people know that this is what you can expect every Friday. If you have a question about whatever I'm teaching or sharing, you can come into the Friday lives and ask me questions. Sort of, this is kind of what I learned in the online course.
Ask me
AMA. Yeah, it's just how people learn, right? You give them information. Hopefully they do something with that information, and then they'll come around and ask you questions about what it is that they tried. And then it's a sort of a triangle, So that's what that's for. And also to build community. Very important on YouTube. Don't treat it like a one-way broadcast. A lot of companies, especially, starting out on YouTube, kind of see YouTube as an opportunity to just make commercials about their product without taking the time to engage with the people that are there, which is so valuable. They'll give you information that you may not have known and could save you a lot of time and money as you build your startup and your company. So making sure that you connect with them and build community is very important.
That's Mia right there with you. OMG, God, so many knowledge bombs. But
Thanks, Mia.
That's a really good point, because those of us, I'm admitting I'm a little lazy, but once I'm done with this, it's like,
yeah, I know.
Been there. Let's send them off to Nikki, who does a beautiful job creating, promo post-show snippets for me to share and get folks to watch the replay. But that's a really good point. I probably need to shorten my intro a little as well, and make sure.
Can I add one more thing? I just remembered. There's a thing. Sorry, Andy. There's a thing on YouTube called chapters as well, and timestamps. And so if you have a live stream, then you can go back to the live stream and set timestamps where you ask certain questions, so that you can say at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I asked Rob about LinkedIn or however, and then you can just put timestamps. That way, people are they're not having to go through the entire thing, and you can quickly see where you want people to go.
Rob, how do I find that?
Yeah. It's really easy. So all you need to do in the description or in the comments, just put, how you put time, 1:20.
But I created it.
You can create it. Yeah.
This is how lazy I am, everybody. Yeah. Something do that for me?
Yeah. We'll get somebody to do that for you. No.
I'm such a goddess. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I've seen that before. So at timestamp, at this point, Rob shared this specific advice for watch time on your YouTube channel. I will definitely start doing that more. I know my channel says I only get how many 5,000 words in my description.
Yes, that's a lot. Need 50,000. No.
Yay. Oh my gosh. All right. So I've got so many questions. Okay. So can we talk about titles and thumbnails?
Yeah. Sure. Let's talk about it.
Everybody, I'm just saying, I just a voice said this. I talked to Roberto Blake about this.
Oh yeah.
It just feels like the thumbnails tend to be very masculine. Even, Sunny and other folks who are phenomenal female video creators. I always feel that that's And I'm always saying it reminds me in the 80s when women were really showing up in male-dominated finance and other corporate rooms. They were showing up with their blue pinstripe and their little bow ties.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep things a little feminine, but I understand from Roberto that we have to remember it's a billboard. People are scrolling by on their phones, so we have to create something. But
yeah, it is, right. Yeah, I am guilty of that. I literally have a folder of like different expressions that I just send to our editor. I'm like, here's some pictures you can use for thumbnails. But yeah, thumbnails are so important. I think somebody explained to me that Netflix pays attention to thumbnails. Like you could look at your Netflix account, and then somebody else could look at their Netflix account, and for the same movie you'll have a different thumbnail because they're testing thumbnails as well. Let's just say like, hey, for this video, for like this movie, we'll show like an action scene because we know that this is Rob's account, and then for my wife, they may show like a romantic scene from that movie because she's a female. So again, they're testing thumbnails. They're testing thumbnails, right? So same thing on YouTube. Again, TubeBuddy. That's why we created a thumbnail A/B test tool. So every 24 hours, you can rotate between two different thumbnails, and then after 30 days or so, we'll tell you which thumbnail actually got more clicks and more watch time and stuff. So very, very important. I think there's a lot of creators. I know you say. I mean, Roberto is a brilliant graphic designer, so his thumbnails are just like, I don't know how many layers you have in that thumbnail, but there's like, it's just so well done. But there's some creators out there, Annie Dubé that you mentioned, Catherine Manning, who is just killing it on YouTube. I think she got to 100,000 subscribers in less than a year. Very Instagram-ish, very more feminine, it's not as masculine like
Instagram-ish, Pinterest-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends on your audience too. Like, look at your analytics and see who your audience is, and then you can kind of understand. Just like again talking about startups. Who is your customer? Avatar and your your buyer avatar, and who's consuming your content. Is it male, female? How old are they? Look at the videos. Search for the keyword that you would like that video to rank for, and then just look at the thumbnails of the videos that are talking about the same thing, and maybe do something completely different so that you stand out. If you see a lot of more like dark colors or like masculine or like then create something totally different. There's a one of our partners, Brian G. Johnson. He's starting to create thumbnails with no face. It's just text. Sometimes simple is working really well these days. So it's just one of those things, just constantly testing.
That makes me very happy because I'm all about the brand, and I don't know if I want to be like.
Exactly. This
is just such great information. I have one quick question. What about folks who do a great job creating some content on Instagram stories? Do you suggest they grab that video and put it into their YouTube channel?
Good question. I've seen this for vloggers, for business owners. I haven't seen it quite yet, but I've seen vloggers that have their main channel where they do travel vlogging or whatever else, or whatever their channel is. And then they'll have a separate channel where they have their daily Instagram stories kind of compiled into one video. Again, it depends what your channel is about. So you want to make sure that one of the things that somebody told me was, don't publish a video that your subscribers didn't subscribe for. So if you have a tutorial type video and all of a sudden you're uploading, your Instagram stories replayed, it's like, oh, I didn't come here to see sort of like your life. In all honesty, just be very frank, I didn't really come to see your personal life. I came here to see some software tutorials. And so it's kind of a mix. So your subscribers aren't going to like that, but also YouTube is going to be confused because they're like, well, I thought your channel was about tutorials, but now you've got like some travel vlogs from your Instagram story. So if you want to, you could probably just start a different channel for that.
I think that's a great idea. And be sure to use a good video editing software so we see it in landscape, everybody.
That's right.
All right, moving right along. Am I like squeezing every drop out of Rob today? Oh my gosh, give me a thumbs up if you agree on that one. We're going to switch right now, folks, to LinkedIn because founders have a brand. Okay, they're not just the company that they're starting. they have a personal brand as the founder, as the CEO, as the CTO, CMO. You need to have that presence for your startup on LinkedIn. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn and video, because I know you talk about this with your tips on your channel. Standing out on LinkedIn. I know for me personally, just testing, I haven't done a whole lot of videos, but I find that my videos don't get seen that much, whereas images, I get 1, 2, 3,000 views. So what are your thoughts about LinkedIn, how to stand out with video?
Yeah, really good question there. Yeah, first of all, I think as a founder, as anyone on LinkedIn, even if you're an employee, you're whatever it is, whatever role, try to be a thought leader in your space. I think that'll open tons of doors. So from a personal standpoint, that's where I started really building content, and that's where doors open. People are like, hey, can you speak at this conference or this summit? And they just open doors, basically straight from just creating videos and sharing knowledge. Quick 60 to 90-second videos. That was sort of my my strategy with LinkedIn. You can upload up to 10 minutes of a video on LinkedIn, but just the behavior of somebody on LinkedIn is not the same as the behavior of somebody on YouTube. The same person that was going to LinkedIn and then going to YouTube, they'll probably watch videos longer on YouTube because that's what they do on YouTube. They binge watch. They play it in the background. Whereas LinkedIn, you're scrolling. You're like, hey, what's going on with my colleague here and there? So quick. So as far as videos on LinkedIn, quick 60 to 90 seconds, answer a quick question, share a quick story, talk about a colleague or a partner. Had an awesome interview with Ande Lyons today. We talked about 3 things to improve your startup using videos. If you guys want to catch the replay, it's on her channel. The link is in the caption. You won't believe what she said. I saw Mia there, and so you just you tell a story, and don't take yourself too seriously. LinkedIn, you tend to be like, okay, suit and tie. This is a corporate, this is like work, but stand out. There's some really cool creators on LinkedIn now that are just like totally not corporate, totally not, they're professional, but it's not what you think. Also closed captions. So a lot of people with, on LinkedIn with videos, because of the nature, probably less now, but having closed captions because they're probably watching it on mute, so definitely use closed captions. That way you can stop people from scrolling, even if their videos are on mute. Just answer quick questions. Also, make sure you're commenting. If you're shy, if you don't want to get into videos yet on LinkedIn, comment and engage with people that are creating content. That's a great way to connect with people. I've made a lot of different comments, and people would reach out. They'd be like, hey, thanks for sending me a comment or leaving a comment there. Would love to know more about what your thoughts are based on what you commented. So add to the conversation. Don't just say like, awesome, add to the conversation because stuff, you have knowledge around these topics. So add your point of view and Vicky, add to the conversation.
Yeah, Vicky, I think that would be a great idea for you because, on LinkedIn, you've got a huge following. You get great responses when you post. I think that, 3 takeaways or here's what I talked about. I think that is terrific advice. Yeah. I love the timing right here, folks. Next Wednesday, Coach AK is going to be joining us on Wise Up Wednesday. But hey, here's his question. Can you post too much on a company page for LinkedIn? That's such a good question, AK.
Good question. So, I used to manage the company page for LinkedIn for Thinkific when I was there. So this is, again, just descriptive, not prescriptive. This is kind of what, my experience was that company pages weren't getting as much reach as our personal profiles, right? And so, yes, we would share, we would post on our company page, but then we would then ask all the team members to share it from the company page on their personal profile. And that usually would get way more reach, way more engagement. Just for whatever reason, that's just the way I found LinkedIn to work right now with the algorithms. They're definitely shining light more on personal profiles. So, as far as how often you can post, you can test that out, test once a day for a week. And then the next week, test twice a day, and just see how your reach went. LinkedIn does provide you with some analytics, not much, but some analytics. So you can kind of see how well that is working. Also, every 24 hours, I believe, if you post on your company page, you can quickly press a button on that post to say notify all employees. So if all the profiles that are, connected as an employee to that company page will be notified that there's a post that they can then share. So,
Oh my gosh, I love that. Something fierce.
Yeah.
That's a terrific idea. Come on, CMOs tuning in.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. So the Startup Life community, Rob, loves to add wind to the sails of our guests, really to any founder that comes in or anybody who's sharing great information here. How can we support you? How can we keep things moving forward? I'm going to post right now. Sorry, YouTubers, you're not going to get it, but all the links to how to follow and engage in Rob. But just hop right on. If you're on YouTube, just go to Social Media Club. Rob will have on his banner, as we all should, all the little icons and how to stay connected and on all the channels. But I'm going to put into the comments right now how folks can connect with you, and then I will also put in TubeBuddies. But how may we serve you?
Andy, thank you so much. First of all, good to see everyone here. Vicky, Mia, Nikki, everyone here. Honestly, I'm blessed beyond belief here with like what I get to do on a daily basis and get to call it work. So if anything, we'd just love to connect with all of you, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and let's just connect and continue the conversation. That's really all I can ask. And and if there's anything I can do to help you guys with whatever you're doing, then definitely let us know, whether it's me or TubeBuddy. We're always happy and looking for ways actually to support people out there and creators out there. So
and I'll do a shout out for your Facebook group. May I?
No, thank you. Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, it's the Content Marketers Cafe.
Yeah, and it's invite only, but you can ask to join. I learn so much. You have such generous folks in there. You are very engaging. If you're looking for a role model, anyone on how to interact with folks online, just watch Rob.
Thanks, Andy.
Responds to people in comments and keeps that engagement going, that interaction and that relationship building going with his wonderful work in the world. This is so wonderful. I talk about feeling blessed. I feel blessed to be able to come on here and chat with all of you. And I'm so thrilled that you tuned in. Viewers watching live, viewers in the archive, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Wise Up Wednesday with our incredible video strategist today. I'm grateful for your time. And I'd love to know, what other topics would you like to learn more about to make your startup journey easier? Cash flow, talent acquisition, marketing, raising capital. Do you have a favorite expert you'd like me to interview, or a founder that you'd like to have me have on the show so you can pick their brains and learn more about how they did it? Please pop your suggestions into the comment threads, both folks watching this later or now. I'd love to help you have a smoother journey. And if you have any questions for Rob or me, put them into the comment section. We will get back to you. Are you raising capital and want to be more confident? I've got to show you something right here. This is let me bring it up. Here you go. I created a document filled with questions, most common questions that investors ask. And I have to tell you, you want to be ready for these. So I have the answers. So it's not just the questions, it's the answers to those questions for investors. And you also want to be very aware and cognizant that you bring in the right investors for your business. So I have this great document, investor questions and questions for investors. I just put the link into the show notes. It is a phenomenal document that will make sure that you're not creating any red flags by stumbling over common questions that investors ask. It's just so important that you are ready to glow when you have your opportunity with investors. So I invite you to download this document so that you're ready. And I'm telling you, the questions for the investors are just as important. For those of you watching, I'll have the link in the show notes as well. So there's that. And if you're ready to go a little further and a little faster with your startup, don't struggle alone. Reach out to me. I have startup strategy sessions, funding strategy sessions. I've got monthly coaching sessions, and you can hire me by the minute. Got a quick question? You need to vent? Are you scared about something that just happened? There's so many ways for us to connect. So reach out to me. We'll have a 15-minute conversation. And of course, it always goes longer than 15 minutes, but book that call with me and let's get your wonderful startup moving forward a little faster. That's what I love to do, helping folks accelerate their wonderful startup. Okay, back to Rob Balasabas. Yay! Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, I did really go overboard in asking so many questions. Oh my gosh. I was curious.
No worries. No, it was fun.
And, everybody coming in. Oh, thank you, April, for sharing the link.
Thanks, April.
All of that. And, it's just great to see all of you and that you're taking the time out to think about things in ways that you can move your business forward. And Vicki, thank you so much for your great questions. Vicky. And Richard O., I mean, I know you're the radio guy, but still, you really do love video as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. And any last thoughts you'd like to share, Rob, before I end this wonderful broadcast?
No, just again, Andy, thank you so much. Always really fun. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about startups again, which I love. So again, thank you to everybody that's tuned in live and hanging out with us.
Alexa's reminding me.
Thank you, Alexa.
Stop the show. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.
See you guys.
August 5th. Coach AK is joining us.
Nice.
Join my meetup group. You'll find out, get the alerts. Stay tuned on my channels here. You'll get the alerts. We're going to be talking about how to not procrastinate, how to move your business forward with Coach AK. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.